knowing that you represent the finest breed of the legal profession and the judiciary. The history of Nigeria's political evolution is replete with peculiar challenges for the judiciary and the nation itself. This is expected, and given that the dynamism of the human society manifests in constant challenges that bear down on our institutions, the security and economic challenges that currently confront our nation fall in this category. It is well established, however, and not peculiar as some other nations have passed through similar challenges and emerged stronger. The triumph of these nations over the adversity of security and economic meltdown was down to the ability of the dig deep and mobilize all resources to navigate the mire of strangulating insecurity and economic challenges. And so it is therefore against this backdrop that I consider the theme of this keynote, optimizing the administration of criminal justice in Nigeria, and how to navigate emerging and systemic challenges of insecurity and economic hardship as a clarion call. I'd like to thank Chief J.B. Daudu for championing this cause. And I also like to thank those who have been participating for the past 6 years. Now, given that our society, lives and actions of the citizens are all governed by law, the judiciary is not just at the core of what makes society and the people successful. It is the bedrock. It equally follows that failures of many societies can be linked to the quality of the judiciary and legal systems they operate. By extension, therefore, Nigeria's ability to overcome current and emerging challenges of insecurity and economic hardship is dependent on a robust judicial system that is well aligned to its responsibilities. Irrespective of what the challenges are in the judiciary itself, senior lawyers and particularly judicial officers must be of high moral and professional rectitude. The contrary spells hopelessness and doom for our society. Now, looking at the emerging threats of insecurity and economic hardship, for an appreciation of the responsibility which the judiciary shoulders in optimizing the administration of justice in addressing current security and economic challenges, it is important to capture these challenges as they are today. It is no longer a matter of debate that Nigeria has for more than a decade now been experiencing severe insecurity challenge, manifest in banditry, kidnapping, insurgency, farmer-herder clashes, and other acts of violent extremism. These crimes, which used to be limited to parts of the country, are now a nationwide phenomenon, even though the severity varies from one region to another. Apart from the loss of lives and property that are commonplace, the greatest impact of insecurity is on the nation's economy. Nigeria is currently facing the greatest food security threats in modern history on account of insecurity. Farmers are not able to access their farms for fear of being hacked to death by marauding criminals. Also, vast swathes of land in the northwest and north central regions, rich in minerals, including precious stone, have been taken over by bandits who exploit these minerals and use the proceeds to procure arms against the Nigerian state. The nation's power grid, not efficient in the best of times, have lately come under severe attacks by criminal elements bent on bringing the last leg of the nation's economy down. Under this atmosphere of insecurity, Nigeria's quest for foreign direct investment inflow has been hampered. Only the daring will overlook the bleak security outlook to commit resources in insecure environments. These factors have combined to worsen Nigeria's economic outlook, with the fundamentals still looking bleak, despite the strong monetary and macroeconomic policies interventions by the Governor of Central Bank and the Minister of Finance. The value of Naira is still a matter of concern in the face of continued illicit financial flows. On the other hand, tax reforms, measures of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration intended to improve earnings outside of the oil industry, is a source of national tension. But amid the hullabaloo, the citizen is left holding the long end of the stick with his fortune sinking deeper in the mire of economic despair. Now, what should be the response by the judiciary? Why some of the challenges that Nigeria have faced simply blow over, others leave casualties and enduring turbulence on its institutions and citizens? Amidst the turbulence of the current security and economic challenges, Nigerians are looking up to the judiciary and other institutions for succor. The judiciary has a long history as a beacon of hope for both the weak and the strong. An impartial arbiter in complex situations, our jurisprudence is replete with such episodes of legal triumphalism in the midst of despair. How have we fared in the current national circumstances? Has the institution of administration of criminal justice actually lived up to expectations of Nigerians in addressing current security and economic challenges? How have we, as lawyers and judicial officers, applied the law in stimulating our economy to grow and prosperity? It is easy to expect some learned minds to argue that it is not the job of lawyers to get the economy out of the woods after all. The nation is blessed with some of the best economic minds to come out of Africa. That may be a valid opinion, but those who hold this narrow view of the law miss the big picture. Law is an instrument that will be used to liberate the society from myriad of challenges that afflict it, be they social, political, or economic. It is the instrument for reform, and as lawyers, we are trained to be problem solvers. Now is not the time to abdicate our responsibilities. Rather, it is a period to rise to the challenge of our calling. The security architecture and the economy need a dependable and efficient judiciary and legal system to maximize their potentials and reinforce the faith of the citizens. Why I crave for such a robust and crusading role on both scores, the evidence available suggests something otherwise. On the security plank, the law has been lukewarm in matters of securing lives and properties, which is the most important task of governance. It is common to hear citizens ask, for instance, how many bandits and insurgents linked to atrocious activities have been brought to justice. Even though of recent time, due to the commitment of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, we have been seeing some developments which for us and to us seems to be positive. The judiciary will be quick to rise to its own defense with the excuse that it cannot convict persons that were not brought before it, or that were not brought without evidence. Still, the few decisions by court has not enough message sent in terms of the severity of punishment that reflects society's revulsion of such criminal enterprise. Sometimes the abuse of court process by counsel in the name of human rights enforcement rise the society. This does not in any way demean our commitment to upholding human rights. There is a need to balance the rights of the defendants. After all, in criminal matters, it is the collective interest of the security and well-being of our society and of our country. Now, cases involving kidnapping, banditry, and other violent crimes need to be determined expeditiously, and forceful message sent to the perpetrators that their actions will be duly punished in line with the law. Now going to the judiciary and the economy. The situation is worse in terms of judicial support for economic reforms, while we all suffer the pangs of the economic meltdown. People all speak from the perspective of people. They see judiciary as a weapon for pushback by those opposed to the reforms initiated by the government to turn things around. Hopefully, the judiciary has been able to maintain their stand in so many cases, and we are proud to say that the modest achievement recorded by EFCC and other anti-corruption agencies in recent times is largely due to the support and the commitment of the judiciary to do the right thing. So I use this platform to thank the judiciary for doing the right thing, to encourage them to continue to do in spite of the intimidations all around. The Federal Inland Revenue Service is currently affected by all manners of attacks on account of the tax reform. And as expected, this this matter may still end up in court. The reform in the oil industry is daily confronted by threats of or actual legal action by interest in favor of a return to status quo. The EFCC, for instance, has been at the forefront of efforts to recover stolen funds as part of a larger plan to reinflate the economy. Not surprisingly, the Commission has been under attack by vested establishment interests. The failed challenge of the legal status of the Commission by a coalition of state governments was the climax of attempts to deflate the Commission's anti-corruption efforts. Others include frequent applications by senior lawyers challenging the investigative powers of the Commission, including the powers to invite suspects for questioning. We say this, and that has always been my gospel everywhere I go. The last judges' conference made it very clear, and we want to also thank the judiciary for doing the right thing. And I gave, for example, a live case where an honorable justice in one of the states, the dry court, one of the states, made a very, what I call a distressing call to one of my zonal directors at about 11 p.m. one night, claiming that our account was hacked. The money she has put together for 4.5 years to pay her daughter's school fee somewhere outside the country. Overnight, the account was hacked. So they stole about 4,000 pounds from that account. So she made a distress call to my zonal director. Incidentally, in that state, there has been a restraining order obtained against us for a couple of years not to investigate and all of that. And state finances, really. Then again, if we have to stretch it further, the zonal director made a call to me. Okay, this is the problem, this is what we are passing through. Incidentally, one of the judges very close to that particular judge was the one who gave me the restraining order. So I asked him to tell me not to call me, so she put a call across to me. And she was panting, obviously, on phone. I said, my Lord, fortunately we have a restraining order for me investigating any matter in your state. So we can't do anything about your matter. Oh, Chairman, it's not true. Who gave that order? Just give me the name of the judge now. And she made all kinds of, I said, Lord, don't worry. Incidentally, eventually rather, we recover the entire money for her on that 24 hours. And so, that drove home the point that you see, when you become a victim of some of these crimes, you understand what it means to be part of the crusade. People see the fight against corruption as between the EFCC and the rest of Nigeria. It's not so. See, there's nothing personal. Absolutely nothing personal. I will do my bit and I will move on. 1,000 EFCC will not solve the problem of anti-corruption in Nigeria. Trust me. I'm a key player, and I'm saying this without the collaboration of the entire populace, entire citizen. How much am I going to do? How much are we going to do? I have less than 5,000 staff. I'm supposed to operate to investigate over 700 FDAs at the federal level, look into the state affairs, 36 states, do 774 local governments. What is strength of what my capacity? That's where we need the civil society, we need the judiciary, we need the lawyers to support this crusade. And I've had a situation where a lawyer was scammed. A senior advocate of Nigeria was scammed. He ran to my office panting. Incidentally, the account to which we trace the money happens to also be an account of another senior advocate of Nigeria who was acting on behalf of a client to buy property. And so when he came to my office, I said, look, the issue of anti-money laundering, compliance, and all that has become a major challenge major issue between me and NBA. So until we resolve that, I won't be able to help you. He said, no. So, on so many occasions, I've seen situations where people oppose what we do become victims. And some of those people you see on TV condemning the EFCC, I tell you, most of them they bring petitions to the EFCC. Because they believe so much strongly that EFCC has the capacity to assist them. So when they become victims, the first place they run to It's the same EFCC. And so I said, if according to your desire, EFCC has been proscribed, then where we are going to? And those who are advocating for the proscription of EFCC, have we ever for once given us an alternative? How we are going to get out of this mess? And like I did say, that's really nothing personal. I would have preferred to stay in my house, in my chambers, and enjoy my practice, just like my God is doing. But unfortunately, these scholars, there's this clarion call on us to do this work. I can't tell you the kind of pressure we pass through every day. I can't share 10% of it with you. Both physical, spiritual attack,
and financial attack.
all kinds of media attack and all of that. That's what is happening now. So we need to come together on a serious note. Like I told the National Assembly members when they visited me, some of the challenges we are facing, some of the things we have discovered. And complaining about the issue of power and electricity. I told you some of the things we have done, some of the things we discovered. And some people say, you haven't discovered that, what have we done? And I asked them, are you not aware that there was former Minister of Power that we are out prosecuting? That I arraigned 3 months ago. And some establishment people. Look, we need to see what this establishment, you know the people we call establishment people? The real civil servants. Some of them do worse than our political leaders. And we're not going to spare them. We're not going to spare them. There is no political leader that can steal successfully without the support of the establishment people. They teach them in the free cases. They teach them how to cover up. So when I arraign the minister, I also arraign directors, I arraign the deputy director, assistant director, up to clerk. The matter is in court. And so it's a collective responsibility. As I begin to bring my presentation to a close, we now have a situation where some institutions have secured for themselves judgment which states that the anti-corruption agencies cannot investigate and prosecute them without the consent of their institution. With this trajectory, I'm afraid that we may soon have a situation where an agbero, you know what agbero is? We say it cannot be invited by the EFCC without approval of NURTW. Now, it's a major problem. Without prejudice to the pronouncement of the court, it is important for us to understand that when we have a major challenge facing our country, about trust to our development, it is important for us to also devise drastic approach to get out of it. Go down history lane. Look at countries that have successfully gotten out of this mess that we find ourselves. At some point in their national life, they adopted drastic measures. And some of them still adopt drastic measures. Death penalty for corrupt officials. There are countries you go in the world, if you steal $1, the sanction is death. Because of the nature of the problem they are facing. And so we cannot, now you come to Nigeria, who is, at the end of the day, who is even the corrupt? Even somebody that has stolen money, that we have indicted, that is already in court, we also be saying that Nigerians are corrupt. How are we going to get out of this mess? So everybody is a saint. Now who is corrupt? And I keep telling people, even to the corrupt, do you really maximize the enjoyment of the process of crime? I say it everywhere I go. You have stolen money, you bought a Rolls Royce, you bought a Lamborghini. Where is the road in Nigeria to drive a Rolls Royce? You stole money, you built a mansion in your village. How many times have you gone to that place to sleep with your eyes closed for 1 week? Fear of the security. So we are also the victims. And we must come together as a nation. And what I propose is that we are still going to have there is no time, we cannot run away from it. We are going to probably, that's one of the things that will be subject of discourse, the shift in this engagement. Let us have a national summit on financial crimes and corruption. Let us see, because it's a major problem. Some of the things we see, we can't share with you. We just give you a tip of some of those stories. Do we come together and say, going forward, do we either grant amnesty to those who have stolen, bring this money, when you bring it back, we grant amnesty, going forward, don't do it anymore? Or do we say those I'm prosecuting, let them agree, plea bargain, bring all without leaving anything off. Bring all what you have stolen. release it to the state, who apply some fine, and strictly one going forward, don't steal anymore. By doing that, do we agree to have what we call death penalty for those who will be caught going forward? Because it's a major challenge, it's a problem, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's in the executive, it's in the legislature, it's in the judiciary, it's in the legal profession, it's everywhere. We have had calls to convict senior advocates of Nigeria. We have had calls to convict ex-governors. We have had calls to convict military people. Everywhere, professionals. Lawyers are getting, they are like, they give support indirectly, tactically. We call them gatekeepers, accountants, real estate agents. We must speak truth to ourselves if we want to get out of this mess. We have seen a situation where, look, what I need most is if I get the support of the lawyers, the reasonable extent that we want it, and judiciary, in 6 months, we will sanitize Nigeria. That's the truth, in 6 months. And I tell the lawyers, particularly senior lawyers, I said, do you even know that because of the endemic nature of corruption in Nigeria is depriving you of beautiful briefs that would have come to you? And I give you an example. Most foreign direct investment here now that are coming to Nigeria, they come with their counsels. They come with their foreign lawyers, that's the truth. They just look for one local Nigerian lawyer to have some prominence to team up with their foreign lawyers. They don't do anything exclusively with local lawyers. It's not a palatable story to share. When we have senior advocates in Nigeria, you bring lawyers who have less than 15 years experience to come and drive your investment here. They don't trust us. They don't trust us. Look at all the arbitration clauses in all the major agreements, concession and all of that. They take it to London Institute of Arbitration, Court of Arbitration. Not even Nigeria. Investment in Nigeria. So we must speak truth to ourselves. Nobody's going to clean this system. We caused it. We brought Nigeria to the knees, and we will take Nigeria to the dreams. Nobody will do it for us. And it's a thing that must drive our discussion, something that must drive our engagement because of this program for the next few days. Now, this attempt to emasculate the powers of the law enforcement agencies have the dire consequences of discouraging foreign investment due to the wrong signal it sent regarding the stability and efficacy of the rule of law framework in the country. If lawyers have no scruples challenging the legality of EFCC, what do we expect from them in respect of the ongoing reforms in the capital market in respect of trading in virtual assets? The Security and Exchange Commission is working with stakeholders to bring this sector that controls billions of dollars in transactions outside the financial system under regulation. This cannot be achieved without a buy-in and support of the lawyers and the judiciary as well. Very quickly, the reforms that are needed. At no point in our contemporary history have judicial officers been put through crucible and firing line as they have in recent past. This points in the direction that those who fight monsters can in the process become monsters themselves. Non-beggar financial fraud, especially illicit financial flows, is possible, and I say it's possible without lawyers. The transfer of huge funds into offshore accounts, preferable in tax haven, are aided by lawyers. This is by virtue of the contemporary evidence I have. Facts and figures, statistics. If I have time, I will share some of them with you. Now, this transfer of huge funds into offshore accounts, preferable in tax haven, are aided by lawyers. The most traumatic discovery of the EFCC in recent years was the subjugation of national interest and well-being to personal interest by lawyers who aided briefcase foreign investors to fleece the nation in dubious transactions. Of course, you remember the case of P&ID scam, Mambila Power Project, Sunrise. Most of these cases are in court, so these are empirical facts and evidence that we can present before you. While the EFCC has had cause to prosecute judicial officers and senior lawyers and earn conviction, my respect for the bench and senior members of the bar remains undiminished. However, based on the unique experiences of the EFCC in the prosecution of corruption cases, I'm particularly interested in systemic reforms in our justice delivery system that capture the foreign. Number one, the process for the discipline and regulation of judicial officers must be reviewed to reflect that we are actually in a deep shit and we need to get out of it as quickly as possible. The regulation and discipline of legal practitioners. Now I say this because of what happens across the globe. For whatever EFCC does, we are quick to point at FBI, to point at NCA and other law enforcement agencies and compare us with them. And I tell you, these people you are comparing us with, we have had cause to work with them. They have had cause to carry out joint operations with us, and they have had cause to drop their hearts for our level of commitment and professionalism. For the first time in the history of EFCC, about 4 months ago, the director of FBI came visiting me for the first time in the history of EFCC. We took him to the villa to see the president. He was with me for 2 days. We were trying to compare notes, commended us, issued a public statement when we got back to the US, gave some of my staff award for the joint operations we have carried out, and has tested to the fact that EFCC is an anti-corruption agency that they are proud of, that they can work with. The same vein, a month after, the Director General of NCA came to my office, expressing solidarity and support. We have had cause to work together, and we are still working together. But sometimes we are too fast and too quick to destroy our own system. People will sit before the TV and run down the EFCC. Say EFCC has turned to debt recovery agency. They hound people, all kinds of allegations. And I look at people and sometimes I shake my head. Legal minds, people that you expect them to know more. Some people will give statistics, allude to issues that they don't have basic knowledge about. It just would have been a matter of coming to our office, putting a call across to us. I would have explained to you some of these things we're doing, what informs certain decisions. We are human beings that blood runs in our veins. We have soul. We can't sit there in that office and begin to run things the way we... No. And I tell people, for me as a person, I'm not just sitting there as the chairman of EFCC. I've been on the other side. I've been subjected to investigation myself for 2 years. So I know what it means to subject people to investigation. When I was secretary of the EFCC, some of you knew about it. What is important is that, look, what we are doing, like I said, my major policy objective is to use the instrumentality of this mandate to stimulate the economy and to also follow the rule of law. And I've challenged on so many fora. If you give me one judgment that I'm aware of, that EFCC we have refused to obey. Yeah, I can't speak for all the staff of EFCC, but just bring it to my attention. There was something that looked like a ridiculous judgment that some people are, parading all over the place. So my Chidera got it, and he forwarded it to me. I think that was a few days ago, sir. And by the time I sent the true position of this to him, he was surprised. He said, "What is that?" People said we have entered into plea bargain, and we collected 290 million naira as against 30-something billion that somebody has stolen and all that stuff, which is not true. By the time I responded, stating the fact, what happened, he was shocked. So if you are not taking the pain and the sense of responsibility to confirm from me, that was how probably somebody of his status will have also flow with that erroneous thought. So it is important for us. You don't expect me to be coming to the TV to be, announcing everything we do. No, it takes people who are reform-minded to work with us, to know what we are doing, and to help us, to support us. So the work of lawyers cannot be overemphasized. And sirs, we have seen situations where, in other clients, a lawyer will tell a suspect or a client that this thing that you have done is wrong. We have seen a situation here where an ex-white governor was tried in Nigeria, discharged. The matter got to the UK. We went to meet with one of the finest defense attorneys in the UK. And they look at the case file. They got our proof of evidence, but the matter was investigated in Nigeria. And they said, look, he told him and said, if I defend you the way you want me to defend you, I will lose my license. I'm not going to do this. I will advise you to go and plead guilty. Let's see how we can amend some of the to plead guilty, talk to the the CPS and all of that. Let's see how we can be on the same page. Plead guilty. Probably will reduce your sanction and we'll move on. He said, no, back in my country, I've been discharged. Over the same allegation, same proof of evidence, same facts. It's later I know that particular lawyer that had a meeting with him because I wanted to do things for us. Now, the lawyer said, they told him that well, if you are not taking my advice, we advise you we encourage you to look for that defense counsel. So we are going to return the case file to you. But when you are going, we are going to also do a note to the other, whosoever you are going to meet. And we will tell the other counsel why we are rejecting your brief. That we gave an advice to plead with and he refused. He said, no, do you have to do that? They said, yes, we have to do that. And so he went, consulted with some other lawyers, and they advised him, he said, look, if that man can't defend you, no that successfully, no that person can do it. That's the finest defense attorney we have in the UK. So he was forced to go back. And the lawyer encouraged him to plead guilty. Me and you will know the result of the case. We need the judgment. We need the end point. Why can't we do the same thing in Nigeria? You have seen somebody. I dropped my hat with one of the senior advocates of Nigeria who came to me about a month ago. One of the people we are prosecuting, defendant, approached him. Come and defend me in this case. And he said, he looked at the case, he spoke to one of my investigators and all of that. And he said, he told me himself, he told the man, he can't take your brief. Because this is a bad case. That is a lawyer, a senior advocate in Nigeria who deserves respect, who knows all his honors, who knows that everything is not money. When we talk of integrity, sir, we need integrity even to survive as a legal practitioner. This thing we call integrity is not just about law. It's not your ability, your advocacy ability to write beautiful briefs, to get people off the hook. No. It's a mix of law and morality. And your conscience must tell you to do the right thing. That's what integrity is all about. And I tell you, there are people, senior advocates, that will invite me for this kind of program that will not come. I won't honor it. As a matter of fact, I had 2 invitations this year from senior advocates. I didn't go. I didn't honor it because I didn't believe in that he shared the same mandate with us. I didn't believe that, they're on the same, they have this, they are reform-minded and they want Nigeria to be better. I don't believe in it because of what we have seen. So finally, ethics, values, and standard of legal practice must also be reviewed. These are essential to me because the job of EFCC is ensuring that the corrupt does not find space in our national life. And when they do, to make them pay for their deeds. It is for this purpose that I also wish to urge you to address the issue of obscene legal fees by senior lawyers, particularly the one they earn from political office holders, particularly the manner in which they collect such fees. I don't have any problem with what you charge political leaders. But I have a problem with the way the money is collected. If a lawyer would not care about the source from which a sitting governor or any other public servant pays him millions of naira to defend him in an electoral tribunal, the lawyer must necessarily be mindful of the fact that the only proper way to collect such humongous amounts is through the financial system. Aside from violating money laundering regulations, hauling millions of naira professional fees from public office holders in liquid cash. In fact, they don't even collect naira anymore now, they collect dollars. So that you'll be able to carry it. As senior lawyers do, is only aimed at tax evasion, running contrary to anti-money laundering regulations and laws. It is needless to stress that the best act of mentoring from leaders of the bar to the younger generation of lawyers is by living out the ethical demands of the profession. I'd like to thank you immensely for the opportunity you gave me to share my thoughts, and also let this highly respected audience know that what we call criticism, constructive attack on us is welcome. I've never been adverse to that, never. But let us do it in a responsible way. Some of our practitioners, Nigerians who practice in the UK, we know that they can't sit down and run down NCA. They won't do that. They won't get away with it. They won't get away with it. What do we benefit from running down our institutions? If you notice EFCC is doing anything, come to us. We'll sit down and I will explain some reform agenda, some of the things we are carrying out. On my assumption of office, we have put some reform agenda in place. We have reviewed our arrest and detention policy. I've asked us to investigate the whole ministry, ministers, DGs, and all of that, without detaining anybody overnight. And I got all the information I got. I got all my documents. I got everything, and the matter is going on fine, without detaining a single soul. But that does not foreclose the need that if there is need for us to detain, you should not detain. It may be lawful, it may not be expedient at some point. We have also asked us to now include all our interrogation rooms. So when you come now, we have started interrogation rooms in compliance with the judgment of court. Also, I need to know, and to also let you know, that the era of 100 can't charge, 150 can't charge, 85 can't charge is gone forever in the EFCC. Everything is standing directive. No prosecution will be more than 50 can't charge. What I mean, if your case is watertight, that's why I will never rush to court. If I'm not sure of the proof of my evidence, never. I get case files myself, so it's not just about asking lawyers. I vet case files myself, particularly high-profile cases. And I agree with the lawyer, you must give me a draft of charge. We'll look at it together, compare with my proof of evidence, sleep over it before I give my go-ahead to go. Because I don't want to lose any case. Of course, you can lose it, but again, don't let it be on ground of lack of diligent prosecution. If there are other technical issues, fine. But I will be sure that I've done my job. And I've done it in such a way that I can defend long after I leave office. So many other reforms that's going on. The issue of our staff, corruption and all of that. Just 2 weeks ago, I was to dismiss 2 staff. You can't be fighting corruption and your hands are dirty. Seyi who comes to equity, your hands must also be clean. And I said, I will not only be dismissing them, I will also be prosecuting them. But that's what we prosecute others for. So you will see that we carry some case file and to prosecute some of the people have dismissed. We're going to do that. If an EFCC staff will not be able to stand publicly with his shoes hand up and challenge the entire public, whose goats have I collected? Whose bottles of water have I taken illegitimately? And I say to Nigerians, if ever influenced me, giving me one dime in the course of my work, come out and say it. I stand to be challenged. If I'm owing anybody a bottle of coke in the course of my profession, come out and say it. And so I can't be easily influenced by things like that. That's why we must make up our mind, work together to do the right thing. Any staff that is corrupt, I will show you the way out. Because how do you want the public to look at us? Again, you know that some people want to be over-serious. Out of every 12, you must have one Judas. So we can't say, I can't stand there and say, oh, all is good, all is perfect. No. As many as you see, report them to us, and we'll do justice.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.